Alright, so you might notice that this video is even simpler than my last couple in terms of editing. It's because it is now 6 a.m. I usually like to upload my videos at around 5:45, that's usually when they're scheduled to go out. But I have been up all night with my dog because she has been sick, and it wasn't just like a little sick, it was a little bit like maybe take her to the emergency room. Turns out she just ate a bunch of grass. So, yeah, better to be safe than sorry though. I stayed up with her and pet her and took her outside, back and forth, and luckily I got to play some Final Fantasy VII on my PlayStation. But mostly I was just checking on her and making sure she was doing okay. But anyway, so yeah, that was today. That's my day. So I came back, I saw all my gameplay and my commentary here, and I was like, super simple cuts all the way through. So enjoy two gameplays stapled together and my tangenty voice, and I hope you guys enjoy. Thought I'd be honest with you. The weapon balance and meta of Modern Warfare has been talked about to death on this channel and on YouTube in general. And if you guys watch my live streams, I often enjoy pointing out how the kill feed is full of MP5 and M4 and MP7, or the Kar98 and the MK2, and I often feel like I lose gunfights not because of my own skill, but because I wasn't using a weapon that's dominating the meta, something that's just easier to use, even if it's not statistically better. Like, I don't think the Grau or the M4 are really overpowered, but they're incredibly easy to use. And so when I die by them when I'm using an Odin or an AK or an M13, I just get filled with a sort of rage that I would like to avoid. Yeah, I'm giving up. I'm never playing Modern Warfare again. At least not as somebody with dignity. Fuck it. At this point, RPGs, MP5s, M4s are going to be seen in my gameplay even more. Some of my best gameplays I've gotten in Modern Warfare are just because I'm using easy to use meta weapons. They define the game, they load up my kill feed, and I just am tired of blaming the fact that I'm using a weird gun or a weird attachment on my death. There's no point in it. I'm choosing to embrace the meta for all of its flaws. I don't care if the RPG is basically Modern Warfare's noob tube. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna use it. I mean, I've already been C4 sandwiching everybody I see in Modern Warfare since the game came out. Why stop there? Why not just run 2 frag grenades, an RPG, claymores, and maybe in some ways I'll be making the game better. If I piss people off, maybe more people will complain and the MP5 will finally get a solid nerf to either its accuracy or its 3-shot kill ability. Maybe high fire rate weapons that can 4-shot, like the M4 Kilo, can get more side-to-side recoil that's a little bit harder to adjust for, discouraging its use at longer ranges. Maybe the Kar98 and MK2 can get a slower sprint out time, or a little bit more flinch so that if I put 3 shots from my 4-shot kill rifle into somebody, I'm not greeted with a single Kar98 bullet ending me in my tracks. And here's the thing, this is every lobby. These weapons are killing me consistently, so easily it seems, in every single lobby. Kar98s, MK2s, MP5s, M4s, MP7s, they just slaughter me. I get excited when I see a good FAMAS or AK player. When someone's beating me with a Bison, I kinda root for them a little bit. And as a YouTuber, I love it when I do well with a weird setup and you guys comment like, wow, how did you get kills with that? How did you do so well with that? It's like, yeah, that feels really good. But that's so cherry-picked. I have to have like 5 bad games to get one decent one most of the time. And I'm not just losing, I'm not just being bested, I'm getting reamed. Today, trying to get gameplay was me running into RPG, into C4, into Kar98, into an MP5, just dying over and over and over again. If Quick Fix would save me in one gunfight, EOD or Cold Blooded would have saved me in the next 2, and it just drives me up the wall. At a certain point, as someone who enjoys winning, what's the point of fighting the current? If I want to use weird weapons, I will do another live stream where I use bad weapons. People enjoy watching that. I had 1,000 viewers when I streamed myself using bad classes, and I mean, they were god-awful classes. At the very least, they were completely unorthodox. That's entertaining for me and an audience, but when it comes to trying to win matches, I'm just tired of trying to use other things. And I've had really good, fun games with non-meta weapons. Honestly, the first gun I fell in love with in Modern Warfare was the M13. I absolutely fell in love with the M13. At launch, I really enjoyed the P90 as well, but recently, I just can't stop getting mapped. and melted by better weapons. I hate to say it, but who the hell is going to blame me? Now, if I sound self-conscious in this video, if I sound like I'm sort of trying to justify bad behavior, it's because it makes me a little annoyed. The MP5 got nerfed a while back and it is still dominating. It's like Infinity Ward doesn't understand that 3 to 4 shot kills with a fire rate above 750 with low recoil is just going to be the meta. It's why the Kilo can compete. It's why the Grau competes. It's why the Ram competes. Accurate, easy to control weapons that can have 50 round magazines. That's the real big thing that's killing me in this game. When you come across somebody, they don't have to be as accurate as they would in a previous Call of Duty game. They can fire 30 rounds and still have 20, or even still have 30. Low recoil, high rate of fire, solid damage, and the ability to have 50, 60 round mags. Couple that with some great mobility for what they are, and it really gets on my nerves. For instance, my nerf for the MP5 is very simple. This is one of the things I would do, which is very simple. It can't 3-shot with 9mm, only with 10, and then with the 10mm, slow down the reload so that people, if they want to use those 30 round stick mags with the 10mm, they're fine to do so. They'll get more damage, but they don't have 45 rounds, and they have to reload slower. Trade-offs, people, trade-offs is what I want. There are so many other solid weapons, and what bugs me is that they're solid, but people don't want to give them the time of day. Many guns in this game are competitive, but why use them over something that's both competitive and incredibly easy and intuitive to use? I wish the patches didn't feel quite so manipulative, because it's like they have their own ulterior motive when they update something that doesn't really seem to mesh with what the average person would ask for. No matter who you are, you didn't think that the RPG needed to be buffed, let alone be buffed secretly. I'm going to assume no one watching this video would have requested an RPG buff, but apparently it had to happen, and apparently we weren't supposed to know about it. Now let me clear up some things before I end this video. I know that marksman rifles take skill, but they clearly don't take enough skill, because I am guaranteed to see 1 or 2 people using them every single game. If they really required such high skill, why are they so common? Why are they in every single lobby without fail? And why are all of them so proficient? That tells me that something's a little too easy. And then you might think, buff everything so then nothing's overpowered. That just means you don't understand how hierarchies form. Something will always rise to the top. It's important to be aware of that. But ask yourself, how would you buff other things to be as good as the MP5? How are you gonna make other weapons compete with a 3-shot kill weapon that fires at over 800 rounds per minute with that low of recoil and that good of range? You wanna tell me how you're gonna buff everything to work with that? Because the other guns in the game are pretty good, they're just not that good. I have pointed this out before. High rate of fire weapons like the MP5, the M4, the MP7, they need to have more side-to-side kick, and they need to have a lot more visual recoil, just so that they lose a little bit of their versatility and ease of use. That way when you die by one, you know the person had to pace their shots, tap fire at a distance, something along those lines. Because getting hosed at long range by an MP7 is just obnoxious, and it happens a lot. Explosives need to have their radiuses reduced a little bit, and also it would be great if EOD clamped damage to non-lethal levels if you are above 50% health. Not have to be at 100%, which is what it currently is. And then marksman rifles have been in every lobby ever since they reduced the flinch that you receive when using them, and then on top of that you can attach the focus weapon perk to really limit your flinch. And I think that needs a change. That way there'd be less gunfights where I get multiple hit markers with something like an MP7 or even an MP5. I get multiple hit markers and then I'm just immediately taken out of the game. Also, I would increase their sprint out time, because the sprint out time is like 2 seconds and then you can have a shot ringing into somebody's face. Yeah, it has to hit, but I hate that I have to drop shot those guys every time in order to beat them. So yeah, I'm okay with them aiming down sight fast. I like their damage and everything. I just feel like they're too accurate even when under fire, and I feel like you can come out of sprint way too quickly with them. But until anything like that happens, I'm going to abuse the meta a little bit. I'm sorry. I've sort of thrown in the towel here. I want to enjoy the game, but it's hard to derive enjoyment from satisfying kills with interesting off-meta weapons and setups when the lobbies I'm in are so competitive and so sweaty. I'm playing Kill Confirmed, and people on the enemy team are doing callouts. It's like they're practicing for the CDL playlist or to go on main stage with their MP5 class they copied from Optic Scumper, And that's what I'm going up against, even when I just play Kill Confirmed recently. So yeah, using off-meta weapons is fun for a live stream or for entertainment value, but I do derive more enjoyment from doing well than I do being interesting or unique. And I know what works in the meta. I'm not one of those, oh, well, this gun does high damage, so it's good type of people. No. High rate of fire means a larger margin for error. Then you have low recoil, that increases your margin for error. And then you can have a really large magazine that increases that margin for error. And then you have a really, really high margin of error setup where you don't really have as much skill required of you, and you can mostly just focus on base mechanics of just rooty-tooty, point-and-shooty, and positioning, and you can't blame your weapon for your own shortcomings, because that's really what I'm getting tired of at the end of the day, is I'm tired of blaming my setups. I want to be able to blame myself and my teammates. I don't want to be able to blame the weapon in my hands, because I'm in control of that aspect. So, yeah. You guys might see more MP5 and more M4 in my live streams, and in my videos, because I don't know, until they nerf them or change them in a certain way, I feel comfortable using them because they're so damn good. The AK-47 is still my baby though, so I'm still gonna use that as much as I can. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. For whatever reason, I will see you when I see you guys. Goodbye.